time left to kind of figure that out. So that's one of the situations that will be evaluated in the spring, and you really can't tell what those guys are going to be until you get them into game action and to see. You know, it's always good to see them in shorts and running around and catching, but the real deal is when you get them in pads and see if they can make people miss and things like that, and see how they mesh with their teammates.
Sometimes we've seen Trent involved, but other times he hasn't been. So we'll see in the next day.
Yeah, I mean, Trent's doing a nice job. You know, he's focusing on more kick return stuff than he is punt return stuff right now. He works on it all the time and stuff like that. So we have him in there sometimes and don't have him in there other times. You know, it's just like, you know, I mean, we have such a big group of guys right now for the punt return stuff that I can't get reps to everybody every day.
You mentioned kind of the importance of seeing those guys in game action and also how many of them there are.
Yeah.
It's going to be a challenge then come the preseason games to kind of get them all involved and see what they're capable of.
Well, you know, I'd be lying to say if that wasn't true, you know. But I think that it'll all sort itself out. The more time we have with them, the more we see and things like that. So it'll all filter itself out towards the end.
How surprised were you? We haven't had a chance to talk to you this offseason that the Pro Bowl kick returner and the Pro Bowl kicker weren't re-signed.
You know, I'll tell you, it's part of the business. You know, am I? You know, it was a tough situation. Those guys were awesome for us. Obviously, you know, I was really happy for the, you know, the Pro Bowl nods that they got. They deserve every accolade they got. They were leaders in the room. I was obviously very happy with them, how they performed and everything like that. But it's part of the business. You know, I'll be friends with those guys the rest of my life. I was proud as hell of them, the way they handled situations last year. Like I said, I thought they did a good job, but that's part of the business. You gain players every year and you lose players every year, and you know, is it hard to replace guys like that? Sure it is, but you know, I'm confident that somebody will emerge and we can get that done.
How challenging is it to replace Roberts?
It's challenging to replace every position. You know, I don't think it's, you know, Andre did a hell of a job for us. There is no doubt. You know, and it's going to be a challenging deal when we go up to playing twice this year, which makes it harder. So, but he did a fantastic job, and you know, every position's a challenge that you have to replace, whether that's a core linebacker, whether it's a safety, whether it's a you know, a kicker, whatever it is. Those challenges are always hard because you have a familiarity with those guys. You know exactly what they can do and what they can't do, and you figure out what they do best, and you try to tailor everything that you do around them.
Who are some of the core guys from the holdover that you need
the guys like Copeland and Luvu and you know, obviously Rontez and Peak and Cannon, and I mean, are all guys that we, you know, count on. Hewitt, you know, so, you know, feel pretty good about the group. It's going to be a young group, I think, but you know, I feel pretty confident that these guys, they're going to come out and play their tails off and everything like that. One of the first meetings I had, you know, was the first thing I stressed was there is no steps back. You know, I think we set the bar pretty high last year, and I'm going to coach like it. I'm going to try to draw the best out of them. That's my job, no matter who we got. And we're, you know, I feel real confident with this group that we can go in and play anybody.
Sorry,
You're good.
Reference to the return situation, but how valuable can he be for you? I mean, you just mentioned as one of the core guys. Even if he's not a returner, how valuable can he be for you in other spots?
I think he's proven. I mean, he led us in tackles last year as a rookie, never doing it before. I think he's going to do nothing but get better as a core special teamer. I think he's going to do nothing but get better as a kick returner, punt returner. So the kid's got, you know, tons of talent, ton of speed, stuff that you can't teach. And he came in and it did exactly what he should do. You know, as a rookie, you got to find your niche, and he found his niche, and he did really, really well.
You raved about Lachlan. Do you think Dar can perhaps unseat him, or what's this?
I think that's a situation that's still playing out. I think they've both had really good springs. Lachlan's kicking the ball as good as I've ever seen him right now. Dar's come in and kicking the ball really well. So it's one of those deals where I think that you know, that's a situation that's going to play out again in the game, just like any other position.
How gratifying was it for you that a new coach came in and he retained you relationship like with Adam before and your relationship with him now that you're working with him?
Well, I've been, obviously it's been, you know, it's a whirlwind situation there at the end. You don't know if you're going to be here or not, but that's part of the business. We all go through it every year. Been really happy to stay. Obviously, didn't want to have to yank my kids out of school and go somewhere else. It's easy for me. It's not always easy for the families, right? But that's the job we took, and really happy to stay. You know, I think that, you know, the relationship with Adam's been awesome. You know, he cares about special teams, wants a real good special teams, and hopefully we can give him that. You know, really excited to work with Joe, but I didn't know Adam before at all. But you know, it's been a really good working relationship so far, and excited to see where this takes us this year.
You know Joe?
I didn't know Joe.
You were happy last year with kind of how much emphasis the Jets started to place on special teams, kind of giving you some specialized guys and stuff
Yes.
like that. Are you confident that you're going to get that same kind of treatment under Joe and Adam?
Well, I'm hoping so. You know, I certainly am. You know, they give me crap all the time because I'm like the squeaky wheel that tries to get greased all the time, you know. But I keep fighting for my guys, and that's what you have to do as a coordinator in this league. If you ask any one of them, you know, you try to get the best group that you can, and that contributes to not only on offense and defense, but they contribute on special teams too.
Blake Cashman
Take one more after
has
this.
special teams cover guy written all over him. Is that how you look at it, and do you think he can help you?
Yeah, I mean that's, you know, he's another guy that you know, I think that is going to have to see how he does in pads. He's not a hell of a spring. He's done a nice job. He comes in, meets with me every day, and you know, he gets extra work, and you know, I think it showed how he's progressed through the spring. You know, but it's all going to come down to how he does in games and everything like that. Do I think he's got a hell of a lot of potential and he can really run and really could help us? Yeah, I do. You know, and he's proven it in college. Now let's see if he can do it in the pros in games. But he's had a really good spring, and he you know, looks like a guy that, you know, we should be able to count on. It's all depending on how he does in the games.
Anyone? Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
A lot of great things about you, and all true, and I assume they're true first. You know, every day's an interview, me to you, you to me, and been around the country quite a bit, been with a lot of good teams, and got a lot of good memories, and looking forward to this year. And it was a good place to be, good timing to be too. Questions, go ahead.
Gregg, this is a defense that last year live up to expectations in terms of production. What are your expectations?
You know, we're always, you know, looking to be as good as possible. And, you know, one of the things on measurables is, as I talk to the young men daily about this, is that when you put a quantifiable score on things, you know, I want to be the best in the world that's ever played this game. Why can't you just be the best you can be today? Why can't we just be the best we can be today? Why can't we just be the best that day we're playing? And then after the year, we'll get all the measurables later. So it's about improvement. This has been a really good group of guys, and have had a very good attitude and a wanting to be coached, from hard to soft to everything. So I'm looking forward to them.
Gregg, can you describe your philosophy as it pertains to the Jets, and you know, the kind of scheme you'll run, and also your coaching style? You know, pertains to this?
Coaching style is extremely encouraging. I kind of, one of the things I do is that when you guys see the maybe the voice, the loudness and stuff, that's premeditated. You know, how do we Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday, make sure that these guys can block out the white noise on Sunday? And for whatever reason being is, when you have slow motion practices, then you're shocked on a fast-paced Sunday. So try to put as much external pressure on them as we can, from distractions, from voice, from fake anger, that type of stuff, to try to get ready to play on Sundays. And once they get inside the white lines, you see a lot calmer me on Sundays, because I don't have to do that on Monday through Saturday. Schematically, I think you guys have seen that, wherever we have been as a staff, since I've been in charge of staffs and been in charge of scheme, is that the multiplicity of what we do is not very many people do as much as we do. And that's not overcomplicating things. That's concept teaching, concept learning, cognitive learning. Do it that way. This is a smart group of young men. I know that people talk about 4-3 and 3-4. Everywhere I've been, I've done them both, everywhere. I've walked in and had to, this is what the dominant thing was at this particular place. Well, that's what we're doing. I mean, we led the league last year at Cleveland in the most number of 34 snaps at 737, not that I was counting. And what we do is, but we'll also do the 4-3 stuff, the nickel stuff, the sub stuff. And so how do we get these 11 guys who we put out on the field to play the best they can do? I talked again this morning about, after all these years, we don't go through a lot of deliberation on what we call something, because I've already got it and I've already been through it. I have 42 packages of defense. What's that mean? 42 ways to get these 11 guys out there. I'm not going to do all those here. Right now we've only got 14 or 15 of them, how we package guys to get out there, who's going out there. But now, after going through the OTAs and going through the minicamp, I have a better feel for these guys. I thought I knew them. Now I think I have a good feel for them, and you really don't have it until you get into the big-time games. Okay, not the preseason. It takes a few seasonal games too to see how you respond under pressure. So we're going to package as many packages as we can to get guys ready to go, because we don't believe in, people talk about starters. Everybody who makes a team's a starter in the National Football League, because when you only dress 21, 22, 23 on Sunday or on game day, they got to play all the special team snaps, and they got to play all the different packages that you're getting on and off the field, and you've got to do things from a fatigue standpoint, especially with the defensive line. And I've been real impressed with that group, been real impressed with the intelligence of that group and how hard they go. So we've got a lot left to do. Today's the last practice of the spring, but they've got a lot of work to do before they come back to training camp in their own personal conditioning too.
Great. Talent's obviously essential, but it's synonymous with attitude. And players talk about aggressive attitude. How key is that to having a successful?
Again, my secrets get out, and the reason I keep getting hired is culture. And culture beats strategy any day of the week. And it's about, how you find ways yourself to be tougher, how you find ways to play harder, play smarter, for longer than any opponent you go against. And the scheme, all the scheme is a way to surround the ball, surround the formation, and it's find ball, see ball, get ball. But it comes from an attitude. It comes from a personal understanding of what it takes to play this game at this level, at the highest level. And when, especially players can smell and feel and know whether you're conning them faster than coaches do, because they see the personal side of you. So, yeah, I push, prod, and attitude does come first. And I tell them attitude is everything. Pick a good one today.
How have you maintained that level of intensity for, 30-some-odd years?
Yeah, it's the honesty part of it. Every day is an interview, them to me, me to them. And people ask me all the time, how much longer am I going to do this? I love what I do. I'm a competitionaholic. When I walk into a room and nobody will pay attention anymore, it's time to do something else, okay? And the fact that these guys here want to be coached. Todd's a great friend, and Todd's a really good coach. Me and I've been together, together and mentoring back and forth for a long time. He did a really good job here, and so I really like a lot of the people here. People ask me too, what kind of players you like? I like good players, okay? I like players that want to be the best they can be, And there was a lot of guys on our draft board, other places where I've been, that I wanted to draft. So why wouldn't I want to coach these guys too? Now, our method of operation, how we go about coaching, is the way that we do it. And the guys respond very well, and they have everywhere I've been.
Gregg, how do you feel about the cornerback situation right now? From the outside, a lot of people look at that.
There's a bunch of good guys here too there, and one of the things here too, and I think you guys will see it more when you're at a lot of the more competition practices and training camp. One of the things that we do is that you have to learn more than one position. You can't just be a one position dominant person. And when you do that, that's the next man up philosophy. So how you get through an injury-plagued game, an injury-plagued season, who's the next best athlete, not the next guy on the depth chart at that position. And so our guys have already started doing that. We've already put the playbook in 3.5 times. So we'll put it in another 3 times at training camp. And guys are already starting to multitask at other positions. And when you're a concept learner and you're a cognitive learner, you should be able to do those type of things. It's not that hard, okay? It's, put your hand in the ground in a 3-point stance or get in a 2-point stance and understand the leverage of the concept and let's go. And these guys are doing it. In the secondary, we're moving guys around a lot to make sure that we're doing the best we can with the guys we got right now.
Greg, you've got some pretty immense production out of the safety position. A lot of guys you've coached throughout your career. You've obviously got a pretty talented one here, Jamal. What's your early impressions now that you've actually... Excited,
wanted to draft him, and he's motivated by some of the guys I've coached before. He's watched those films, and some of those are his idols too. And one of the things that he's very motivated by directness. And I said, I've coached a lot better people than you before. And right off the bat, but that was a point. And all of a sudden, he's been fun to watch. Okay, and he can't fake who he is either. So not only him, Marcus, and some other guys too. There's other guys there that is pretty good position. And we got to stay healthy, and we got to get cut them loose and let them play. But they've had a good spring.
What have you learned about CJ Mosley in your limited time?
Really wanted him, and one of the guys that he played for is a very good friend of mine, Nick Saban. So I understand the whole philosophy of what he's gone through, and he's had his ass chewed before, so I don't have to worry about that because that's how Nick is. And but he's a really good leader, and he leads by example first. All the great leaders that I've ever been a part of have to show great example before you open your mouth. So he's always doing that. He's always done that. He's not an extremely highly vocal guy, but he sets the example by how he goes about doing his job. And he understands the routine of being a pro, being a real pro. He's excited about the flexibility now of all of a sudden being even more of a quarterback of the defense and having the checks and the audible systems and things that we teach. He's been very good, and it'll be fun. And I do, there are some similarities of what we do here to what he was doing in college, because Nick and I have stayed in close contact, and he's traveled around with his staff to a lot of different places I've been.
Greg, Adam seems to be very high in the potential of Leonard Williams, a guy who hasn't had necessarily the sack production that he'd like over the last few years.
I'm really looking forward to cut him loose, and he was high on my list to get a chance to draft. And there's a drastic difference in just the philosophy of how we play up front, and he's had some really great springs. Can't wait to get him in pads and ready to go, but he's another one that I'm excited about the opportunity to help him be as good as he can be.
I think 3 more, Rich, Andy, and then Dan.
Who?
Right here. Great. So this is obviously the first time we've had a chance to talk to you. So I just wanted to ask you if you could, the dynamic with Joe Vick, because some of us look
Not a
at him.
question. Next question. Go ahead. He's a great friend of mine. Okay, and he'll always be a great friend. I don't care what you've written. Go ahead. Somebody else.
Andy, go ahead.
Just how has your relationship with Adam Gase evolved over the last 5 months, and what's it like?
I've known him for a long time, and one of the things that we have to do, and I started doing this back in 1992, after I'd been in the league for a long time, is that I do an extensive scouting service on coaches, trainers, PR guys, everybody but players. I get thousands of people telling me about players every day, but who's scouting coaches? Who's scouting doing this? So he's been with several good friends of mine that have mentored him as a position coach, and he was already on my list. And then all of a sudden, the coordinator going against him. So I've had a lot of respect going against him. Okay, and so we've had a relationship for many years, on the games that we've competed against each other, and it's been fun in practice too. And respect and trust is earned. And he has earned my respect, okay, and earned my trust now because we're working together on the same thing. It's been fun, okay, and he's a very good coach, has a really good mind, and has a challenging mind, you know, on what conceptually we're doing and how he goes about doing it. So it's fun.
Greg, with Truman Johnson, who you've been with before, had a little bit of an inconsistent year last year. What do you see in his game now? Can he be a shutdown corner with his 4.6 speed?
Looking forward to that, and you know, I think if you guys,
Disappointed he's not here in the spring, considering he probably needs the work.
yeah, what I would say this is that you know, being a real pro, you got to be ready to roll, and there's things you guys don't know about why he's not here, and that's fine. His best years was when we were together, and he's really motivated. He understands me, I understand him, and it's my job to try to help him be the best he can be. And he's excited, and I've been excited about, you know, the work that he has put in here and even away. I've been, you know, we're monitoring things. There's a good familiarity there, and can't wait to get going and getting back in games together because, you know, he and I have, you know, have had some really good moments together.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Hey, let's have a good year, okay?